Welcome to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex. Today we're taking a look at my favourite Switch deals coming in under $10 or your local currency, and here I cover the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. I'm liking this week a lot because we've got a few games on sale that we haven't seen in a long time, so hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and let's get started. If you are thinking of grabbing anything, then head to cornershop.gg for discounted eShop gift cards with instant delivery via email. Just use code CORNER at checkout for 10% off. Alright then, with that, 11 games today, for sure a bit more of a unique list of games this one, and we're starting out with Rain World. So this one, it's back matching the low here, 50% off, a survival platformer. It definitely received what I'd call mixed opinions at launch, but I've been a big fan ever since. It's not an easy game, but there's something incredibly well done with the design and the world that you will be traversing. Playing as a slug cat though, you'll search for food and shelter while avoiding the tidal rain and also predators that do surround you. Side-scrolling though, this game is massive, 1600 rooms to explore, 12 regions, there's additional playable characters, it even has some multiplayer options as well. Just overall of the platforming here though, it feels so good and it is well worth a look. Fight Terrarium, then I reviewed here on the channel, find that in the pinned comment below, but this one, we find ourselves in a world contaminated with toxic fungi. Opening the game though, a robot finds a younger girl, or the last human, and proceeds to help her survive. Now how is that done? By building a terrarium between what is mystery dungeon almost like segments. It's a roguelike of sorts, this one though. You'll essentially be getting out into this world doing runs, finding resources and medicine for this girl. Then you'll be decorating that terrarium to make her feel at home, all while hearing two robots retell the story of what happened to this world. It's a new low price at 60% off and I really did enjoy it. I'd definitely check out that video. Etherborn then is a hidden gem. This was a really fun list of games to make this week. It's matching the low though, 68% off, and this one, it's a puzzle game, definitely unique in idea though and visual design. Now here, we'll be taking on the role of a voiceless being. You are chasing after though a bodiless voice to understand your own existence. The gameplay then a gravity-based puzzle experience where you must navigate these different structures and platforms. The challenge here really is understanding how each platform impacts the gravity around you. It's all incredibly surreal as well. Thanks though to a mellow soundtrack that is dynamic to the gameplay, I just found it overall incredibly relaxing, while of course dialing up the challenge when necessary. The Hong Kong Massacre then gets a new low price, 90% off, and now it cannot get any cheaper for those of us in the US. The gameplay here though, a twin stick shooter sort of, it's designed to basically reward practice, and I compare it often to Hotline Miami in the sense you are this one-man killing machine with locations to clear. The spin here though, think John Woo-esque aerial acrobatics which give you invincibility frames. Additionally, they just make you look and feel like a badass too, so that is definitely a bonus. The only real weak elements are some boss encounters that do feel out of place. There's also a moment when you need to use your slow motion to jump across rooftops, and it's what I'd call poorly implemented. Overall, although look well worth it, and my full review it is in the pinned comment below. The Darkside Detective, a Fumble in the Dark then, is an adventure gem. If you like point and click style adventure, come here and it packs plenty of pop culture references as well. Just some great jokes as well. If you haven't played the first, it's highly recommended as well, but this one it continues that quality. Setting itself in Twin Lakes, you'll be tackling what is 6 cases, taking you from like wrestling circuits to carnivals to just all sorts of unique locations. The controls are well implemented though, I love the pixel work, the music is fantastic too, and then Francis McQueen here, just a fantastic lead character. It's 68% off, that is a new low price, and LucasArts fans, this one it should definitely be on your list. Just a quick shout out then for MotoGP 21, it's a new low, 80% off. It is not a perfect game, it has that issue where shadows don't connect to the bikes in dock, so they look to be floating, but in handheld, weirdly it is corrected, it is looking fine. The handling is good though, it works surprisingly well given the limitations we have with the Pro Controller and Joy-Con. The downside, I'd say the lack of online play, that is disappointing, but I think it's more than a fair price, especially if you are a bike fan. Pinstripe then I actually reviewed way back some 4 years ago when the channel was called The Gaming X, and when I covered all consoles here on the channel. That video was actually dedicated to Xbox, but I liked it enough I actually got it in a deep sale on the Switch as well. Now that sale is back 80% off, and that is matching the low price. I think it's a fair price as well for what is a bite-sized game, roughly 3 hours, and a solo dev made it and it arrived thanks to Kickstarter. A puzzle adventure game though, I think it's a pretty standard runtime for the genre, and in this one we are an ex-minister travelling through the frozen depths of hell, searching for our kidnapped daughter. Love the visuals, the controls, they take a little while to get used to, and then the story though, an absolute winner with an often dark side. I think this is well worth the time though, and it's one of the more unique puzzle platformers out there. Fallen Legion Rise to Glory then is here with 88% off. This received a sequel which I reviewed at launch. Sadly, it was just weak both mechanically and it also suffered from crashes. This one I felt was a lot more stable, though I do need to go back to that follow-up, check if they got it to standards. This one though, it's actually 2 games bundled together. That's going to be Flames of Rebellion as well as Sins of the Empire. The story, it's going to take you everywhere from war to overthrowing kingdoms to witnessing the aftermath, and while it can get incredibly complex at points, it is well done with a likeable cast across both entries. With a whole host then of enemies, I really like this series. It's mainly because of the combat system. It's a little tough to explain, but basically you'll see these prompts on screen to time them in place. It's kind of like chain attacks, but then you can block in real time as well. I'd definitely watch a fuller review on this one. Things get pretty complex, but if you want an RPG with a unique combat system, then I would say come here. I really enjoy how involved those battles are while still keeping that sense of strategic kind of gameplay behind it all and not just hacking away at your foes. Lacuna then to kick off the final 3 games of the video, and this is one I'm picking up, so not a recommendation, rather maybe you'll want to join me for the ride, but it is a steal of a price here, 85% off. I'm seeing a huge amount of praise surrounding it from the reviews that I can find. It's essentially a modernized point and click. It's promising to do away with many of the tropes like think repeating conversations. Then it's packing multiple endings as well, and you'll be taking on the role of Neil Conrad, a CDI agent who awakes to a murder. You head to this case, but what awaits is about to basically change the world and even the galaxy. Collect evidence, ask questions, and figure it all out. Be careful though with the choices that you do make, as they do have a lasting impact and they will change that outcome, often in a permanent fashion. It's cyberpunk, it looks great, it's $3, no complaints from me. Our penultimate game then is One Piece Unlimited World Red Deluxe Edition. I never really got around to this one, so again, join me if you do fancy it. Don't see it as a recommendation. Now, I've played the Warriors games, and I've played this one a tiny bit, but at this price, I just can't refuse. You know, it's a new low 90% off. It's an action-adventure game, though. You'll play as a member of the Straw Hat Pirate crew. It's all then set around what is an original story. It's promising though free exploration through a central town and then a whole host of enemies to take on. This was originally released on the Wii as well, it seems, but we're being treated here to some bonus content in new missions and costumes. It even has co-op gameplay as well if that is your speed, and that is drop in and drop out. Visuals from what I'm seeing, they look absolutely fantastic. Undertale then to close us out today. It's a new low here, 40% off, the first time it's ever been sub at $10, and on top of that it's been a year since we last saw a sale, so if you do fancy this one, if you're waiting for a lower price, you may have some time ahead of you. Like this enough myself to buy it, both the digital release as well as the physical from Fangamer in a collector's edition that is absolutely stunning. The game though, a 2D RPG, we control a child that has fallen to the underground, a world that's full of monsters. One of the funniest games out there, in a sort of kind of like, I guess, weird way, but they're just so committed to it. Even on Steam, they put the 10 out of 10 scores, but accompany it with the negatives like 10 out of 10 from Destructide, but the quote here, the puzzles, they aren't particularly impressive. Combat here then, it's optional, gameplay mechanics frequently change, it's out to surprise you, and it is something special. I don't want to give any more away honestly, it's best experienced for yourself, and this is one that many find is worthy of multiple playthroughs. For an RPG, it's definitely on the shorter side, I'd say about 10 hours, and then it's all rounded out with a stunning soundtrack as well. And that is the video down. Will you be adding anything to the library this week, or are you holding onto that cash? Let me know in the comments down below. With that then, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.